After Will Smith's violent action at the Academy Awards where he slapped Chris Rock for making a joke about his wife Jada's shaved head, it had been reported that Chris Rock did not file a police report against the Hollywood star, and for a second we thought maybe he'll let it slide. However, things might be getting worse for Will Smith, as it looks like Chris Rock might be finally suing the King Richard star for assault. Ready for the scoop on how Chris Rock may sue Will Smith? Let's get right into it. During his show at the Wilbur a day after the Oscars, Chris only addressed the slap for a brief moment during his show, saying he was still kind of processing what happened the night before. Other than the weird thing, life is pretty good, Chris went on to say midway through his first set. Chris Rock also recently addressed his lack of comment on the issue as he continued his ego death comedy tour. "I'm okay," the comedian told the audience at his Fantasy Springs comedy show in Palm Springs recently, according to the Desert Sun newspaper. "I have a whole show and I'm not talking about that until I get paid." Rock then went on to joke, "Life is good. I got my hearing back," he said. No cell phones were allowed onto the building of the show, and the audience was supplied with a locking pouch for all mobile devices on them. So far, Chris has decided not to discuss the incident in depth, explaining that he is still working through what happened that night. Meanwhile, Will, who shared a public apology to the Academy, and Chris Rock seems to be having it hard. In his apology post, he stated that he reacted emotionally to Chris' joke about his wife at the event and he was wrong. Since the incident, Smith has resigned from the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, and the Academy even banned the star from all Academy events for the next 10 years. Aside from all his projects being put on hold, there are more things Smith seems to be going through at the moment. People might have felt sorry for him if only he didn't physically abuse Rock in front of millions of folks. Going on, Chris Rock's statement about not talking about the incident until he gets paid might be a cryptic message. Lots of people are reading into what the comedian might have meant by that. If Rock means he's waiting for a network to pay him for a sit-down, you believe he and his team have already been met by every broadcast company right now. Maybe he's just waiting for the right offer or a documentary or special. Despite the comedian's refusal to file a police report against Will, the audience present recognized Chris' hidden emotion. Or perhaps he's referring to a civil lawsuit against the actor in which he could be compensated. We believe he may plan on suing the actor for assault. Despite all that's been happening, Chris seems to be in good spirits and is getting along fine. He seemed to be having fun in his Fantasy Springs comedy show as he made jokes about celebrities and politicians such as the Kardashians, Hillary Clinton, Meghan Markle, and others. He also reportedly made fun of different corporations and their diversity initiatives, including invoking his family life, single life, and cancel culture. The comedian seems to be opening up more and more as his tour goes on. Remember, in his first shows, all he said was that he's still processing the incident, and now it looks like he's finding some humor in it. Hopefully, we'll get more from him as time goes by. Going back to the incident at the Oscars, very few people understood the reaction of Chris Rock to the slap. The logical thing to do would have been either to move away, given the bad tone in which Will was walking toward him, or to react violently after the slap. However, a composed and confused Chris Rock continued with his script as if nothing had happened. Recalling an interview by Rock with The Hollywood Reporter back in 2020, he claimed to suffer from a mental disorder that prevents him from understanding nonverbal communication. In the interview, Chris explained that his nonverbal learning disorder has caused him several difficulties in his career, as he doesn't know how to interpret signs or nonverbal gestures. Incidentally, all these things are great for writing jokes, but they're not great for personal relationships, Rock said. "I've always associated it with being famous. Every time someone responded to me in a negative way, I thought whatever they're responding to has something to do with who they think I am. Now I realize it was me." While both Will and Chris have been at the receiving end of different opinions online, Chris' comedy tour saw an increase in sales after the Oscars incident. TickPick, an online marketplace for event tickets, tweeted, "We sold more tickets to see Chris Rock overnight than we did in the past month combined." Variety even reported that the platform claims that ticket prices have surged since Sunday night. going up from a minimum of $46 per ticket on March 18 to a minimum of $341. According to reports, things seem to be going quite well for Rock money-wise. Days after Will slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars award, more people are expressing their unfavorable views of Will, according to data from a Yahoo News/YouGov poll. The Yahoo News/YouGov poll, which gathered data on the issue from March 31st to April 4th, shows that 47% of those surveyed view Will unfavorably. That's up from 37% in a similar poll conducted the day after the Oscars ceremony. A majority of people questioned in the new survey, which is approximately 67%, believe Will's actions were wrong, while 16% said his actions were right, and the remaining 17% said they were not sure. The poll questioned 1,618 adults, with 63% identifying as white, 16% as Latins, and 12% as Black. And while the majority of those surveyed, which comprised 51% of females, believe Will should keep the Best Actor award he won for his role in King Richard, 28% believe his award should have been taken away from him, and 22% were not sure. Although the Oscars awards telecast was viewed by 16.6 million people according to Nielsen ratings, which is the second smallest audience ever, the survey realized that 92% of Americans have heard a lot or a little about the incident. While some folks initially thought the Academy would strip Smith of his Oscar, the Academy didn't. The comedian may be planning to file a huge lawsuit against Smith. MTO News confirmed recently that Chris Rock was seen inside one of the biggest law firms in the country. A person who works at the firm told MTO News that Rock is a new client of the firm. The big law firm that Rick chose to work with had handled some of the biggest lawsuits in history, including matters with the NFL, Google, and Microsoft. This major move could mean that Chris is thinking of a potential lawsuit against the Hollywood star, the Academy Awards, or both of them. The insider at the law firm told MTO News. Chris was in the office meeting with partners from the litigation team. Although the insider couldn't tell for certain what it was about, he believes it is going to be something huge. The insider added, whatever they were saying, it was big given the number of lawyers at the meeting. Since getting assaulted by Will, Chris has been mocked across social media for responding in a so-called weak manner to Will's actions. What do you think about all this? That's all for today's video, guys. But before we end, what do you think of Chris Rock's silence on the matter? Do you think he's going to sue Will Smith for the slap? Let us know what you think in the comment section below. And if by now you haven't, ensure you subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any new updates from us on your favorite celebrities.